don't waste any additional Stalkers until that upgrade's done, because you can do so much more damage.
Very true indeed. Twilight coming up here for SOS. He's also getting a Prism for some harassment. Not surprisingly, going into Glaives, that's going to go very well with the heavy amount of Immortals he has to make to stop any Blink Stalkers from killing him.
I thought you said Memortals.
Memortals?
It's like baby talk for Immortals. You got all these Memortals, man.
Memortals. That's my first word.
All my Memortals died.
I love it.
We have SOS pushing down now.
This is kind of an interesting move that he's pushing out.
Yeah, I wasn't actually expecting this. Glaives also started a little bit ahead here for SOS, but Glaives alone won't have much of an impact if there is an attack up here. But yeah, I wasn't expecting SOS to push down here. Do you think he's actually going to commit?
No, with Blank done, he would lose this right now, but he does have a Prism, so if he can just get anything out of position, again, he can gain advantages just dropping off a few units.
He's coming forward now here. Now Blink is available. One immediate mass Blink away. I guess if he does use that Oracle, he could try to get him out of position, maybe lock out a few units, force him to either Blink on top, lose the fight, or Blink away, and then maybe you can take out a Nexus.
Couple Archons being warped in, which means we'll see a lot of Adepts coming out of Billowy as well. He's about to have a pretty big explosion as far as his ground army goes. And I would expect him to start pushing out against SOS from here.
Okay, Stalkers are up here. He's blinking away the weaker ones, making sure not to lose any of his army. Low amount of casualties there by SOS as he does now. Retreat heading back up here. No fourth base for either player just yet, but upgrades are beginning to ramp up, which means they can just start powering from here on out.
SOS moving his Prism across the map. It does have probably 4 Adepts in that right now, while he is going into Blink and double Robo Disruptor. So all this pressure he's been putting on is great. It's really set him up to be in a position to get all the tech he wants.
Okay, he's dropping in here. He'll have to pick up all these remaining Adepts and back up. But he is taking off some of that energy on that Mothership core. Meanwhile, Force Field's come down, but no use against an Archon. Crushes that. Billowy headed northbound now, continue to pursue SOS. SOS is slower Immortals, unable to retreat with ease here. Adepts now shooting forward. SOS could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, this is really the one timing that Billowy has. He has a lot of gateway units right now, and with those Disruptors coming out, he needs to make use of them.
Yeah, he really does. These Adepts starting to shave off just a few probes, trying to get some of that army out of position, but right now, SOS in a pretty solid state right over here. The Disruptors do come out. That forces the Blink out from Billowy. Billowy looking to try to dive in once again. Only one Disruptor here, which means there's a little bit of a cooldown for the moment where he can try to zone them back out with those Disruptors. Enough time for Stalkers to regain their Blink.
And this is exactly when he has to move in, which is exactly what Billowy's going to do. A very strong move. Another Disruptor shot does come out. 2 more Disruptors did pop out, so we're going to see more and more of those, but with Blink Stalkers being made, you can dodge a lot of those shots.
That's right. Coming forward now, Billowy is going to... Oh, hold up.
Oh, my God. Blinking on top of these Disruptors. A great move by Billowy. One of them does get away from now, and the Stalkers are forced down. But Billowy just has a bigger army.
He just has too many Stalkers. He has too many Immortals. And this is way too much damage. He's going to be able to go to the third base or possibly even dive into the second or the main if he wants to. Meanwhile, harassed here from SOS, but is it really going to be enough? Taking out that pylon, unpowering 3 gateways as well as the Robo and the Forge.
This is looking really good for Billowy at the moment. Can SOS actually hold on here? It's not looking too likely. These Blink Stalkers are way too mobile and have way too much damage. Oh, a great hit, though, with that Disruptor.
Yep, there it is. GG. SOS loses to Billowy in game 1.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
And that is exactly how Billowy just crushed through all the Protosses last night.
Yeah.
This is exactly how he plays. You can see he's getting a little bit pumped. This guy has a very high skill level, has never been able to do it offline, but like maybe this is his chance right here. He said he wants to go out in first place.
Look at his face. He's trying to hold back a smile.
The thing is, he defended everything perfectly. He was able to do his build. SOS put on lots of pressure, but Billowy had perfect unit splits at all times, good reactions at all times, and realized his one window. He needed to hit as the Disruptors were starting. That was the moment where SOS is making this big transition. You know, that is the moment where he's going to be weak, and Billowy pounced on him. Yeah. Great play.
Let me tell you something, man. That is the best possible... whatever's going on in his head, that's the best feeling you could possibly have in a moment like this. It's you're finally in Code S. You're against a player who you're not supposed to beat. Okay? Nobody thinks you're going to beat SOS. I'm sure Billy's parents didn't even think he was going to beat SOS. Then he takes game 1, and that was like not a sneaky play by him. He didn't pull a fast one on his opponent, trick him, get a quick win. He actually played a really solid game, and I think he's going to be right in that high through the rest of this group. I think Billy's got a much better chance, not just because of that one win moving forward, but just the mentality that'll give you for the rest of the day.
He didn't mess up at all. Like a lot of times, especially you're playing against SOS, who's great at mind games, and the type of style that SOS was doing, I think, was very smart because he's trying to, if Billowy makes one mistake, it's going to snowball really quickly. You lose 5-6 probes suddenly to the Oracle because you're out of position or not looking. Like, that could get under his skin. He's like, oh, God, I'm just not ready to play on stage here. But that win is such a big deal for his mentality.
Also, scary moment here for SOS. I mean, if he gets knocked into the losers, he still could get out, obviously, but that's not the result I think anybody was expecting. I personally thought SOS was going to get out first. Maybe he still will, but I got to
he can
reevaluate the way I'm viewing him after that first game there. We're going to go to map number 2, which is on Daybreak.
Okay, so how does SOS decide to play this map? Is he going to stay with something like Stargate? Thing is, Billowy is so rock solid, I don't know that you're going to get any damage done.
Will Billowy do a similar super safe opener? We'll see. He might just want to try to transition in the late game. Also, SOS is somebody who knows a lot of crazy strats he'll never see ever again. He might try to pull that out as well. Anyways, guys, this is Billowy versus SOS. Billowy up with a 1-0 lead. The winner goes on to the winner's match in tonight's GSL Code S. In the upper right, in the blue,
Jin Green Wings. SOS.
SOS. We should just all say it whenever it comes up.
Yeah.
In the bottom left, in the red,
Billowy.
You know what I wouldn't mind seeing, based on the way that Billowy's playing, is maybe like a very fast Immortal Sentry bust on the natural. A move like that can be quite strong against someone who's rushing to blink very quickly. So,
SOS support here. What is the name of that emote? Does that emote have a name? That's the one
like
that
a shruggy guy. That's the select emote.
Yeah, that's a select emote.
Yeah.
What are you looking at, Artosis?
No, I'm just like looking at the mini map and checking everything out, making sure everything's going normal. But and it is. But yeah, like Billowy is just so rock solid right now. Like I actually wasn't expecting this because we don't really see him in tournaments.
Right.
He's gotten into Code A before, and the thing is, anytime that you see Billowy, he just kind of falls, and then like kind of out of nowhere last night he had such a deep run. It was like, oh my God, he's actually in phenomenal shape right now. And this is always a fun thing for the first season of Code S every year, is that we don't really know what everyone's level is at.
Yeah,
we know a few people
because
they're streaming and stuff, but like we're not exactly sure how good each player is because it was like 4 months since the last big tournament, right? Where we actually, BlizzCon and GSL and all that, and
we had a long break.
Yeah, and like the rankings of players can change so dramatically in that amount of time.
Well, I mean, we basically had enough time to fill in another season of a GSL Code S. That's how much time we actually had off there. So we have some stalkers on the way right now. For Billowy, SOS going for the double Adepts. He wants to do that Adept pressure build. It'll be Billowy just playing the defense, trying to keep the Adepts at bay here. Try to keep them from actually shading into the main instead of trying to shade maybe up the ramp.
Yeah.
Possibly trapping themselves in there. Probably won't happen, but that's why you keep the stalkers out like that.
Now, this is kind of interesting. Billowy is switching it up this game. Okay, in SOS, he's adding a robo. So this is going right towards what I was talking about before, where this could absolutely be a quick Immortal bust.
Oh my God.
Catching this in the middle of the map.
That
SOS
is not a fast
almost
unit.
losing it. Whoa.
All right, he's running back. That's pretty bad, man. 4 HP there. You can lose that later on. It's quite bad. So the Stalkers will come over here, try to chase these Adepts. Will he try to commit into the base? Nope, but he does scout inside. and get a glimpse of what's going on there. And we actually have a proxied pylon here from Billowy.
Now, SOS this is crazy. This is like Billowy has, this is the perfect time for him to alter his play. He shows the same thing that he's been showing in Game 1.
Right.
And so SOS is saying, because the build he's doing is an anti-blink attacking build.
Right.
But what Billowy's going for is just a 3-gate Stalker attack.
Yeah.
That, or it could be just 2-gate as well, because he did make a Nexus, but like, he can put a ton of pressure on with this build.
He can, and by the way, SOS has not been able to scout it. And this was a smart move here, too, because the Mothership Core was so bruised, it probably, you would not be compelled to pull that back out on the map, right? I mean, if you were to lose that to some Stalkers, that would be disastrous. So he does trigger that one pylon cannon over here.
And, well, SOS going to defend against this fine for now. Some more pressure will come, and he'll keep forcing these overcharges out. But what building did SOS just make? Was that an extra gate in his main base? I didn't get to see. We're hiding the production tab today. This is
we're going to
building
ASL style. Takes out that pylon. He's got a good arc down here on the bottom of the ramp. There's not a whole lot you can do to try to punish that. Okay, so the Adepts are going to come in here, but with a healthy Mothership Core, he's able to set up those cannons and actually drive him back there as well. So he's just going to get the Nexus. This is so bad, dude.
This is very
I think SOS is just going to lose this game.
Yeah, he definitely could. Oh, even micros his Stalker there a little bit. He needs to be jumping up and down the high ground with this Immortal.
What about his Immortals?
His Immortals.
His Immortal.
His Immortal is doing its best, but the Nexus still goes down.
Where's the mama to the Immortal?
The Mummy Mortal.
The Mummy Mortal.
The Mama Mortal. Okay, he's actually gotten Speed Prism right now, so this is not exactly what I was thinking he was doing, but maybe this is a reaction to the amount of Stalkers he's seeing. And, okay, he's going for Disruptor and Speed on that Prism so he can do some harassment. And when you go for this many Stalkers, generally your Blink is going to be a little bit late. So Prism harassment, there's no way to kill the Prism.
Okay, so this is like basically the best thing you can do after being put in a really bad position.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Very much so.
Like, you never want to have to be doing this to begin with, but SOS has basically made the best possible choice for the really shit hand he's been dealt.
Good way to put it.
He's like playing a really good hand here of like 2-7 in poker. He's like probably making all the right bluffs and all the right moves, but you're probably not going to win with that hand if they just play the game.
Yeah, and I mean, this is really good. In fact, Glaives on the way for Billowy. So it looks like he wants to follow this up with just a massive attack.
He just wants to brute force it. Yeah.
But Disruptor Tech is the absolute best thing that SOS could have against this, because there's no way he's going to make as many units because his expansion died. So having this huge splash damage against the clumping Adepts, like, SOS definitely has chances to come back in this game.
Okay, here we go. 5 probes picked off there.
Wow.
Nice blow. Of course, once you've revealed that you're going to be doing the Disruptor harass, the odds of it doing too much more damage are a lot lower just because they are going to be cognizant this is on the map.
And he is spreading those Stalkers out, trying to stop it from even unloading. It will run around and find a spot, no doubt, though.
Billowy is like the guy.
Yeah, he's playing very well, man.
He's playing like the Protoss, the guy. Like, everybody wants to be the guy, but he's the guy.
He really... Oh, my
Whoa.
God, he almost lost it there. And he's playing so much like the guy, Tasteless, that once he saw the Disruptors, he canceled Glaives, knowing that Disruptor is the proper counter to a big bust on SOS, and it's just going into Blink.
Yeah,
like, he's so smart.
He's so the guy, man.
He's
you know who,
he's the dude.
He is the dude guy. Because if you weren't the guy, you would have just kept going to depths, and then you would have maybe like lost the game.
Yeah.
And you know, Tasteosis would have been like, see, he's not really the guy.
Yeah. But maybe he is the guy. Maybe we are going to have a Royal Rotor. This is crazy.
So a little bit of a depth harass here from Billowy. He can't do much more with this until he's ready for a full-on push. He still does want to go and try to smash the opposing player, or at least to try to push out and see if he can't do that. With the Adepts coming out here, especially with some of the Disruptor tech that's been up here, it does force some of those more core units like the Stalkers, the Adepts, for SOS to come back and try to defend, making the second base location a little bit more naked. Okay, here we go. I don't think... Whoa, good dodge. That was actually pretty good considering.
Yeah, still good harassment by SOS, though. Like, if he just keeps flying in, getting 2 probes at a time, this is still very quality stuff he's doing. But Blink is about to finish for Billowy, and it looks like he wants to move out with that Blink.
And he might not care about this, the Warp Prism and the Disruptor at all, because even if he's killing off probes there, I think Billowy can possibly just smash his opponent's base. We got more pylons coming up here with the purpose of actually being pylon cannons there and try to drive that back.
But Blink is finishing for SOS as well. He has 2 disruptors at home at the moment, and he does have the other one in the Prism that he could come up and flank with. So definitely something to keep in mind here.
Okay, he's got to go now for this Immortal here.
All right, good disruptor shot there, getting 3.
Yeah, but he can get these Stalkers in the right position to get this next Disruptor. He has to wait for the Disruptor Ball to come out. The Immortals over here can take this on, the Stalkers, I should say. Meanwhile, the Disruptor might be able to come in here and harass from behind. Is he going to try to blink up?
He might do a flank here on it, but yeah, looks like he wants to drop off the Immortals here and then blink up with them. Very strong move for going a lot of those cannons, those pylon cannons that SOS wanted to go for.
Okay, here comes the Disruptor Ball. Now, it does bruise those 2 Immortals. Not quite enough, though, to take them out. They're still pretty well covered in the back there. He needs to try to break his blink up to where he can... Okay, that was really good. Really, really good there. Now going to finally get that Mothership Core that was bruised earlier on this game.
Great snipes here by Billy,
so good.
man.
That's game.
Yeah, SOS is in so much trouble at the moment. Like, he's got to get some shots up, but loses the disruptor.
This game is basically over. Yeah, and he can still warp in here. Even if he gets these Immortals, I just don't see it. Oh, my God. He even loads that up in there. Beautifully done. Now he's going to try to get this. Yeah, that's it. GG. Billowy 2-0 SOS. What the hell is going on?
Dude, he's playing so solidly. He altered his build for game number 2, which was so smart against, because SOS is like, oh, you are just going to play like that? Let me kill it.
Are we in like a weird episode of Rick and Morty where there's like endless possible realities and we're just in the reality where Billowy 2-0's SOS? And we got to get back to whatever Rick or Morty's time machine is.
Oh my God! Well, this
we might
could
get
be
into the reality where it's Tasteless versus Startosis and it's SOS and Billowy casting in English on the GSL. There's an equal possible reality.
Everything exists somewhere in the multiverse.
In the multiverse, that's right.
That was good play.
Well,
that was super solid, super smart play. The reactions of Billowy were great. The reaction of SOS to go into Speed Prism with Disruptor was fantastic, but Billowy was like, he was like water, man. He bended himself into the shape of the teacup.
He was bending like water.
Yeah.
Like crazy water.
Water bends crazily,
I know, all over the place. We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, our next best of 3 in tonight's GSL Code S Group C.
Stop till we've woken up and we see the corrupt and let them know.
마음이 가는 대로 즐겁고 신나게 쓰자. 캠퍼스 시리즈.
그래서 오늘 두 분이 경쟁을 하는 거예요.
부산 전체를 돌아다니면서 저희가 7개 시청자 여러분들 다 뿌리도록 하겠습니다. 4번이요.
운동대.
도쿄, 넌 내 거야. 짜! 4번.
네?
오케이!
정답입니다.
아, 예! 운도 좋아, 운도. 화물 뺏겼다.
정답입니다.
가자.
저희 입수하러 갈게요, 저희는.
둘이서 쓸 수 있어. 귀엽지 않아요? 여러분? 오. 된다. 안녕. 붕어빵 사세요. 이거를 한번 볼까? 지금 나 혼자 신난 거니 혹시? 이거 귀엽다. 찍어도 되나? 진짜 예쁘다 근데.
시작하겠습니다.
그런 의미를 담은 그 댄스 퍼포먼스
이 무대를 마음껏 즐기시는 모습을
계속 춤추셨으면 좋겠어요. 꼭. 네.
1등은요 축하합니다. 2SC
축하드립니다.
와우.
부산지도 아닙니까 이거?
와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지 취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠주시기.
이야. 아 자갈시장 도쿄. 도착했어요. 자갈시장. 오우. 자 나오세요. 자 가면서 나오시고 2시간. 야 이겼다. 이번에 이겼어. 콜 한번 어서 와.
바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단.
클래스 있다면 4번. 아 좋아요. 타이페이죠 타이페이. 광안리. 괌이다. 괌. 야 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요. 내장. 오.
그런데 스노우의 밤에는 가장 좋은 기능 중에 하나가 실시간으로 적용되는 아이템. 맞디? 스노우의 기능이 어마무시하죠 진짜로? 원반입니다. 빵로모디. 저한테 채팅으로 보내주시면 치킨 5마리를 뿌리겠습니다 시청자분들.
라이디오빠 사랑해요.
아, 급식이야? 와 센스!
상당히 초점을
실시간으로 친구들이랑 가족들이랑 이제 사진 보내주고 같이 함께 꾸미면 더욱더 이쁜 스노우에
We are back at the GSL Code S. Dude, what a weird day so far. Billowy 208 SOS. Not that Billowy's not good or anything like that. Just, I didn't think Billowy would smash him that badly.
Yeah, I mean...
Billowy's like, by the way, this is PvP and how you do it, SOS. God damn it.
Yeah, no, like, Billowy right now has just such solid PvP. It's madness. I had no idea how good this guy really was. Until his performance last night in the League, and he is like out of control. Like seriously, if you just cover up the name and watch, it's like you're like, oh, this is stats. Stats cut to the finals against
so
Beyond.
Good.
Like he's so solid. So that's a huge victory for him. Maybe he will be a Royal Roader. Who knows?
He's looking pretty solid.
Now here's my question about Curious for you, Tasteless. I've been thinking about this. Does he not look like he plays the piano?
Oh yeah, for sure. With that haircut, he definitely
Either
plays
that
the piano.
or he programmed a website or like a program too young in his life and sold it for way too much money, and here he is doing his passion of video games. Like,
no, I would definitely say he does look like a piano player for sure.
Yeah. Well,
but maybe not a piano player.
There's
going to
be some musical roaches coming
like maybe
up
like in the 17th century, like a piano player.
Yeah.
We'd have several paintings of him because he really changed the way that we understand music, but he's not smiling in any of them because nobody smiled in paintings back then.
Yeah, they didn't really know anything about anything back then, and like he died 10 years later of lead poisoning or something. That's like that's what that haircut is.
Excuse me. Not Sue. Excuse me, not SOS. Sue. I hate it when we have Sue and SOS in the same day, man.
I love it. I just love it.
I always screw up their names. Okay, so Sue against Curious. Look, Sue's one of these guys that anybody who's been trying to learn Zerg has definitely been following his games, but kind of still waiting for that big break here from Sue. And considering how consistent he was in getting second place a while back, I'm wondering if he's ever going to be able to get to that point again, or even better, become a greatest player in the world.
He's in that type of form again, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like you watch him play right now on his personal stream on the ladder and stuff, and he is just on fire. He did say that he's not feeling so super great right now about Zerg vs. Zerg.
Yeah, but it's a Sue interview. You never really know what he's actually thinking. Sue always strikes me as he has this attitude in interviews like, yeah, let's just get this over with. Like, I want to get in my game.
Yeah. Can't disagree with you on
He's
that
pretty
one.
based. He does not care what other people think.
Doesn't seem that way.
No. So we're going to have map 1, Newkirk Precinct, map 2, Echo, map 3, Overgrowth.
Yeah, and we'll just have to see how this one goes down. Of course, definitely curious is the level of player that can take out Sue, and in fact, I was talking to JYP before the start of the day, and he actually thought his prediction was SOS and Curious getting out of the group.
Okay.
So we'll see if that comes true. I mean,
what is this song? Somebody Shazam this and tweet this at me. This is like StarCraft music, you know?
It might be, or it might be like the beginning of like this party that's way too cool and it's all vampires and Blade is about to kill them.
Oh, that's actually pretty true. Yeah. All right, guys, this is game number 1 in our second match, Sue versus Curious. That was pretty good with the party that's way too cool with vampires and blades all about to kill. That was the kind of song.
Furious.
That's not what parties are actually like. Not even for vampires, guys. Come on.
Even vampires aren't that cool.
Yeah, no. I mean,
we are immortal. We know how to party.
If they are, if those parties are like, that's a European vampire party.
Oh, for sure. Bottom left in the red. He is
Sue.
So.
He looks like he's in a neck brace.
Superman. It's a bird, it's a plane. Uh-oh.
So, how you doing, Tasteless? I haven't seen you since yesterday.
A lot's changed since then. I'm a different person.
I know you are. I can tell.
I'm totally changed.
Something is different about you. It's like you I want to say you smell a little bit worse than yesterday.
I shed my tasteless skin, but I look exactly the same as the...
You found a new tree to rub up against to get out and molt.
Could snakes molt? I thought only birds can molt.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, birds molt. Snakes don't molt.
What do you call it when a snake sheds its skin, then?
It's called shedding its skin.
There's a better word for it than that.
But
though.
I know, because birds molt when their feathers start to fall
Look,
out.
if there's a snake scientist out there, please tweet us and let us know.
Yeah. Or maybe if you had a snake with feathers. Then it could molt, yeah.
That would be a dinosaur snake.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I know a lot of sciencey stuff.
Well, we have the hatchery going down for both players right now. Baneling's Nest has started here first for Sue. Although we could see it a little bit later here. CVZ has always been a little bit tricky like this because you can do different stuff or sometimes the exact same thing and pretty much end up with it having not that much impact. If both players are playing correctly, they're just sort of reacting and responding.
Yeah, it gets really, really close if no one gets overly aggressive early on, all these different build orders. But right now, what we see is that Sue is hiding a couple Zerglings, so he's going to hide those over here and then morph them into Banes and then rally up probably some more Zerglings to escort them in. And this is something that can really catch you off guard, is Curious.
Okay. More drones are just mining up here, but Sue is definitely preparing for an ambush. We have 10 more Lings on the way here. Ling speed about to finish. And with Curious taking the third base, most definitely that will not stay there. The question is, does he try to focus down the third base? Does he try to just go for a kill? Because we don't even have a spine crawler here.
Yeah, this is something that could end up getting a kill. Like, if he doesn't start 2 Banes immediately, he's going to be in some trouble. Those Banelings are really going to add a lot of oomph to this attack.
Okay, well, he's going to try to use the Queen here to gun down at least one of those Banelings. Banelings for Curious are coming down, and he's just going to go for this hatchery over here.
Yeah, well, this will make his third base a lot quicker than Curious's. This is a pretty late cancel. You know, this is like, that was very close to, it was like 3/4 done or something when he had to cancel it. So that is really putting Curious into kind of a tough spot.
All right, you can see the Lings right now. If Curious trying to come in here and wipe out a Baneling. He trades those 2 Banelings, which are pretty badly bruised, on top of the Banelings for Curious. A really nice exchange there for Sue. Otherwise, those Banelings would not have been able to get back home.
Yeah, Sue playing very, very well. And with that extra hatchery, Curious has this type of pressure now where he's going to have to get something done. You don't want to just play from this deficit, right? So we should see him at least try to do some light harassment.
Baneling's coming out.
Do a full attack. It's hard to say.
He didn't even kill that one.
Yeah.
Wow. He's doing a really good job controlling these Banelings.
Wow.
This is okay.
Well,
Sue is so good. He's
like
just
really
too good every time, man. This guy's control is just impeccable.
Yeah, it really is. This guy was, well, he was such a full package Zerg back in the days. How else would you get 4 second places in a row in Codes? It doesn't even make sense. But
he's probably the only person in StarCraft history that's going to do something like that ever.
Yeah, 4 in a row. It's just
4 in a row is just, the odds are just so low.
It's crazy. Like, to
he's
just
gonna get the
stay
drone
that good
again
for that long.
Look at that.
Man, he's just
Jesus.
like, it looks like he's just a different caliber at the moment.
He's sending yet another drone over here. Now, the army here of Curious is at the point where it's bigger, where like anything that Curious is trying, or she was trying to do here, is just to shave off a few extra units. But I think the follow-up attack was what?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Like, this is just looking so much better for Sue at the moment. He is making some more Zerglings and Roaches. Curious is flooding across the map right now, so maybe he can get a little bit done here at the 3rd.
Okay, Link's coming up now, trying to get these drones. Now, keep in mind, Sue did get his hatch up, but he's not really mining from it that much. But he might not need to. He might just be able to use this as a production facility and use that to fund his next big attack.
That's very true. And he is up 9 drones. So he used this extra larva to be able to really saturate a bit better on his first 2 main bases. Doesn't really have to have the drones here. This is a production point for him.
Yeah, it looks like Curious may have to rely on these Links to try to counterattack here, since there's no way he can defend the onslaught of Sue's army that'll be pushing over here on the east side of the map. Sue going to see if he can't get a interception here on those Lings, but it looks like the Lings have just been zoned out, which means the next area of attention is going to, in fact, be over here at Curious's 3rd base, which is just now finishing.
Yeah, that is so much
That's
later.
so
oh my
much
God,
later.
It's like crazy. Look at this, a 13 drone lead right now, and Sue still maintains a better to equal army. And with that much more larva that he had, and the better trades with the Lings and Banes against Curious's army, a situation like this, like maybe Curious just wants to bring this to being maxed. That is one way that you can do it, right? And then just try to play a longer game of decision-making. And that's actually a place that Sue sometimes falls apart. When he has a lead, sometimes he just isn't really that patient. He'll try to kill people because he's ahead. And, that's... Like, if you go back and look at, like, a lot of his losses, especially back in the day when he was getting to the top of GSL, I remember against Zest, it was like, Sue should have been able to win that series, to be honest. Like, he would just go over and be like, now die! And Zest just wouldn't die, and then Zest would be able to kill him. And, we've seen that even in Sue's ZVZs.
Well, we have Ravagers coming up here now for Curious. That's going to be very helpful in trying to keep these Roaches at bay. He does try to dive forward here now. One Bailing in the back, interested in connecting over here with the rest of this army. Does turn around once it's no longer on creep.
And, well, Sue will run away for the time being. Still has a 10-drone advantage, has a hell of a lot more Roaches right now than Curious. Curious doesn't want to go too far off creep here, to be honest. Like, I think that he should be able to assess this as a situation where this is very dangerous to be out here. This many speed Roaches, man, like, even if you land every bile, I don't think you're going to be able to kill this army of Sue.
Well, Curious is going to go for it. This is pretty wild here. The Queen's now coming up. Bailings do have a nice connection over there. Those Roaches over there in the front. A few Ravagers, as you can see. Now Sue's army beginning to swallow up the remaining army right now for Curious. Curious's Lings are coming here to try to tank, but they're basically picked up before they even truly connect with the Roaches of Sue. GG.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that attack, I didn't like that as the way that he wanted to come back. He knew he was just like kind of behind the entire time.
I think he had to max out.
Yeah.
I think you just, if you can't win in the next 10 minutes, don't lose.
Yeah.
How's that for a play style?
And the thing is, in Legacy of the Void especially, this is a way that you can come back in ZVZs. I mean, it's very hard. Like, maybe Sue ends up killing him anyways. That attack, I don't think, ever had any chance of doing anything, though, that he did. And if you do try to maybe utilize these tech units, you do have the defensive power of Corrosive Bile. When he's attacking into you, try to get some nice concaves. And there are units like Lurkers right now that really kind of mess up Roaches. I mean, he couldn't have gotten to those right then. His economy was too poor. But still, like, the longer game might have been a better comeback route for Curious.
Think about the way that Sue plays. He's kind of this Rottweiler Zerg.
Yeah.
He's just always nipping at your heels the entire game. He's not this guy who necessarily dramatically overdrones ever. He's basically just chewing at you and biting you and punching you. throughout the game and building behind that. And I feel like the idea of Curious having a counterattack that would then sweep the game in his direction after having a third hatchery that late is almost laughable.
He was relying so heavily on the 5 Ravagers and the Lings, but like that was just not going to work against Sue.
All right, guys, this is game number 2. The winner of this best of 3 goes on to face off against Billowy in the winner's match of tonight's GSL Codex. In the upper left, in the blue,
Curious.
Curious the Furious. All right, get ready to say this one with me, Artosis. Ready?
Yeah. Okay.
In the bottom right, in the red, Sue. All right, so now we got 4 of us talking.
The more the merrier. Actually, if there was another Artosis, we'd probably kill each other.
No, man, if you had cloned me, Tasteless and Tasteless would have a great time.
Well, I'm just trying to think, like, if there was another Artosis here,
you'd be like, I hate
shut
this
up,
guy.
You're so
this,
annoying.
This guy thinks he knows everything. In fact, I know everything, says Artosis clone.
Or I could enslave my clone, right?
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Make him get deeper stats for me or something. But then he'd be thinking the same thing. That's why we have to kill each other.
We gotta have clone Tasteless and clone Artosis cast their own StarCraft games. But our clone Artosis would just be making fun of player Tasteless while the clone Tasteless just trying to defend him. Like, leave him alone, man. He's really trying his best.
Oh my! Sue with quite a quick spawning pool here.
Yeah.
And just the pool after hatchery here for Curious. So Sue a little bit safer, I guess, in a way. Doesn't want Curious to be able to just rush in and get an early victory. But isn't getting the speed quite as quickly as he did in that first game.
We're going to have the Overlord kiss here. Oh, not going to get it. Too bad. Could have made the kissy sound when they connected.
Yeah.
Mwah. That was a Tastosis kissy sound. Not good kissers.
We're great
you guys can
kissers.
tell. Yeah,
Sure.
sorry. 2 Lings now headed northbound.
You know, I've never kissed you, Tasteless, but I imagine that it involves a lot of teeth. You got a big mouth, buddy. You got a big set of chompers there. Can't be pleasant.
I don't know, man. With my Angelina Jolie lips, I would have to disagree with you. My Julia Roberts mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, Tasteless, I have to hide these tennis balls. Take them quick. Put them in your mouth.
Give me all 8 of them. I'm like, bop, 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 bop. Look like that gif of the gerbil hiding all the little baby carrots in its mouth.
Oh my God, I love those
so
things.
funny.
So cute.
A little interception here by Curious, going to try to get these 2 Lings. Sue's Ling's now going to go up to the top and then loop around to try to get back over here. And it looks like they just barely, oh no, I guess the Overlord probably saw that drone anyways. He is going to see the third base is being taken. Layer taken right away here for Sue.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he wants to tech up very quickly here. We'll see if he throws down a Roach Warren relatively soon or he's trying to go for mutas. Because it's on 1 gas, I'm guessing he's going to add a whole bunch coming up here, but which could lead us to a 2-hatch muta play. But Curious, like, you know, if this is like a speed +1 Roach build from Sue, which is starting to look like because he's only taking 1 additional gas, I kind of like Curious's position if he just sits back very defensively.
Yeah. Yeah, it would seem like if Curious just handles everything correctly.
Yeah,
at this point in time, it's abundantly clear also what Sue's doing. You're not like,
well, you see
Evo wall, that's weird. I don't know what's going on. He must be bad at the game.
Yeah. when you see that pulsating, you're like, oh, okay, this looks like what it is, which is the +1 speed Roach.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that is scary. You can really out-micro non-speeded Roaches, and with the +1, they 2-hit Lings and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it is a powerful move that you can do. But look at this. Curious is actually going right into Carapace. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Well, he might just try to stay even, you know, in some senses, and then ahead to get a greater lead later on economically.
Well, it makes a lot of sense because if you are trying to go, like, if you're playing against this, right, he's teching very quickly, but you have the extra production, the extra economy, you can actually, what you're going to do is make Ling Roach to defend against it, whereas he's going to be really focusing on Roaches. So if you get that +1 Carapace to help out against the, you know, the 2-shotting, that's pretty awesome.
It's smart. It's definitely smart. Su now getting his third over here. Not a whole lot that Curious can do to contest that. Worker count right now is 42-51 with Curious in the lead.
And this is going to be coming out from Su pretty quickly. He's going to have to put at least some pressure on with this build. A lot of lings being made. That +1 carapace is going to be a little bit later, so these lings will get two-shotted, but the roaches are going to help out as well here.
Okay, and whenever you see this many lings coming out behind a bunch of roaches, that almost always means a timing attack.
Well, he's got to defend this right now. Here comes Su across the map. That +1 about to finish. Some Ravagers being made as well. If he can surround the roaches and get the Crosives down, that can be big.
Does want to edge out. Doesn't quite have enough lings to get a proper surround. The roaches would eat through most of that and probably get away anyways. Definitely going to have the right number of lings.
Yeah, +2 started here for Su, but every moment he's not attacking, we almost have these lings upgraded, and that is such a big moment for Curious. Look at the amount of lings that he's making now.
Okay, so here should possibly come that counter timing over here. It will depend on the positioning here of the roaches as well here for Su. Obviously, if you get a good surround on your opponent and you manage to then fire those corrosive biles and hit them in the center in that sweet spot of the Roach army, you're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, he has so many Zerglings right now and so many more on the way. The Baneling Nest just starting for Su. If he had Banelings, he would hold this so simply, but this is actually going to be kind of tough. He's really going to have to utilize the terrain and back these guys up so they don't get surrounded.
So the thing is, some of these are actually up against a wall anyways, so they're still going to be susceptible once the lings do come up there to the corrosive bile fires. Here they come, landing now. Oh, over there, up in the right. Su seems to handle that with ease. Now going to gun down this one extra Baneling. A few more corrosive biles chucked out. Do not connect, however, as Su is in pursuit. The Ravages a little bit slower. Ling's going to come up here, maybe try to go for a counterattack. Now headed southbound.
And breaking off most of the roaches there, but that means that this set of roaches will be surrounded by the Zerglings and picked off. +2 attacks still being researched here by Su to get back to those 2 hittings of the lings.
The rest of the roaches do come up here. He did not take out the entire clump, and he's still in pursuit. And yeah, with +2, that's going to be pretty scary because the roaches are going to mow down a lot more before it necessarily connects with him.
All right, well, a lot of roaches being produced right now by Curious, though, and they do have approximately the same amount of drones, so this is getting a little bit more even. One of the big problems is, where's roach speed?
It's a good question.
Oh. Good question indeed.
That's big. Everyone, where's Waldo? Where's roach speed?
It's like, well, I don't see it on the
I don't see it on there.
So, and I guess
can we look around the map? Oh, is that not how you see it? Okay.
Okay.
Drones being transferred now.
Curious just continuing to mass up on these 3 bases, utilizing the fact that he's had that production for a lot longer, but will he be able to actually kill off this ridiculous Roach army with that +2 attack finishing? And, like, yeah, we're going to have +1 range attack for Curious, which is good, but I think Su just holds this. These lings are just not going to have any value.
It seems like Su's just gone for a more muscular army later on. There's a lot of tact and guile that you have to have with Curious to win a fight here, but Su's basically bulked up to the point where there's not a lot, no matter how much finesse you have, you can do against this. Let's see how this next attack goes over here.
Yeah, these lings just not doing the job that they need. A lot of corrosive biles landing there, so that's really good. But +2 speed roaches coming out now. The lings being killed off so quickly, and with just Ravagers left, I don't think so.
And the roaches, of course, can catch up over here. Now he's chucking a lot of corrosive biles. The lings coming in here to try to get in the way of that. But you can see the damage there from the roaches just does too much.
Su playing a fantastic game and a fantastic series here. I like the ideas of Curious. It was a really solid defense against the build he was going against, but he just continued on this ling route, and it is not paying off.
Yeah, it's an obsolete army to have against this kind of attack here from Su. GG, Su takes that 2-0, and that means we're going to have Su versus Billowy in the winner's match.
Right. Definitely a very good one coming up. A couple of PVZs in that winner and loser match. Curious has to be a little bit disappointed in that, though. It really did feel like the entire time Su was outplaying him. But this guy's in top form right now. This is the type of form that Su was in when he was getting 2nd place every single GSL for over a year.
Well, Curious just looked like he was playing in a different time period or with a different group of people who were not as good as whoever Su trained with. It's like you could see Curious knew what he was... Did you see the thumbs up? Did he just give Curious a thumbs up?
I think he was giving it to a camera that wasn't actually filming him. I want to say that was probably it. If you thumbs up Curious, that's a
brutal
right there.
That's brutal. Because you know what's even better than a thumbs up for that is a thumbs down.
Yeah. Or a middle finger, perhaps.
Well, Sue was just the better player. Better style, better execution. He'll be going on to the winner's match, which will be coming up after the short break. That will be Sue versus Billowy, so don't go away.
Don't say it's over, 'cause that would send me underneath the ground. Don't say those words, I wanna live, but your words can murder. Only you can send me under. I die every time you walk away. Don't leave me alone with me. See, I'm afraid of the darkness and my demons and the voices saying nothing's gonna be okay. Hey, I feel it in my heart, soul, mind that I'm losing you, me. You're abusing every reason I have left to live.
마음이 가는 대로 즐겁고 신나게 쓰자. 캠퍼스 시리즈.
그래서 오늘 두 분이 경쟁을 하는 거예요.
부산 전체를 돌아다니면서 저희가 7개의 시청자 여러분들이 다 뿌리도록 하겠습니다. 4번이요.
공동대.
도쿄, 넌 내 거야, 짱! 4번.
네?
오케이!
정답입니다.
아, 예! 운도 좋아, 운도. 와, 감을 뵙겠다. 가자.
저희 입수하러 갈게요, 저희는.
둘이서 쓸 수 있어. 귀엽지 않아요? 여러분? 오. 된다. 안녕. 붕어빵 사세요. 그거를 한번 볼까? 지금 나 혼자 신난 거니 혹시? 이거 귀엽다. 찍어도 되나? 진짜 예쁘다 근데.
댄스 도와의 결선 무대를 시작하겠습니다.
그런 의미를 담은 그 댄스 퍼포먼스,
이 무대를 마음껏 즐기시는 모습을
계속 춤추셨으면 좋겠어요. 꼭. 네.
1등은요 축하합니다. 2SC
축하드립니다.
와우.
부산지도 아닙니까, 이거?
와, 7군데를 다 돌 거예요. 1번부터 7번까지 취득을 해서 시청자분들한테 나눠주실 수 있어요.
아, 자갈시장 도쿄! 도착했어요, 자갈시장. 오우! 자, 나오세요. 자, 가면서 나오시고. 2시간! 야, 이겼다! 이번엔 이겼어! 콜 한번 거서. 바깥으로 나가야 될 것 같은데 일단. 클래스 있다면 4번. 아 좋아요. 타이페이죠 타이페이. 광안리. 괌이다. 괌. 야 이건 크다. 부산 분들 위주로 좀 드리면 될 것 같아요 내장. 오.
그런데 스노우의 밤에는 가장 좋은 기능 중에 하나가 실시간으로 적용되는 아이템. 나마띠. 스노우의 기능이 어마무시하죠 진짜로. 원반입니다. 로모띠. 저한테 채팅으로 보내주시면 치킨 5마리를 뿌리겠습니다 시청자분들.
라이즈 오빠 사랑해요.
아 급식이야? 와 센스.
이거 상당히 초점 같다고.
실시간으로 친구들이랑 가족들이랑 이제 사진 보내주면 같이 함께 꾸미면 더욱더 이쁜 스노우에.
It's time for the winner's match of tonight's GSL Codas. We're going to see who will be our first survivor to move on to the round of 16.
Yeah, and will it be Sue, who most people expected to be in this match, or will it be Billowy, which a lot did not, but is playing fantastically? Billowy's PVC is also extremely strong right now. He took out Bjol last night, and Bjol, like Sue, perennial second-place finisher, is back in great form at the moment.
That's right. It would be strange if Billowy does get out first, but then again, maybe it's not strange at all considering how well he's been playing. He looks just phenomenal. Yeah. By the way, Curious is going to have a very hard time now getting out of this group. Curious is just got an almost impossible challenge.
Maybe
try to somehow get out of the remaining 3 players that are here.
Well, I think if Curious wants to get out, he's rooting maybe for Sue to win right now. Because Sue's ZVZ looked a little bit like a butchering against Curious.
Yeah.
You know, like. Okay, so the maps: Whirlwind, Daybreak, Echo. You know, fine for PVZs. What do you think, Tastes? Do you think Sue's just going to take him out?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I need to completely reevaluate the way I'm looking at Billowy right now.
Well, I think
it's important to remember people really do change in their skill and their ability. And I mean, the Billowy that we're seeing today is different from anything I've casted before.
Yeah, I originally looked at this group and thought Billowy had 0 chance until I saw these new games, and it's like, okay, well, I guess that this guy has completely changed himself. He's in unbelievable shape. So, like, the way that he has been playing is that type of play can get you a top 4.
Yeah, that actually can.
And top 4 is not that far away from Royal Roading for Billowy, so who knows?
We don't have that many opportunities to ever have a Royal Roader, and this guy is hungry for it. He wants it. This could be his GSL. This will be a best of 3. The winner is the person that actually gets to move on to the round of 16, and the rest, the fight continues. Right in the bottom right, in the blue.
Billowy.
Billowy. Blah, 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 blah. And in the upper right, in the red, he is
Sue.
So, yeah, Sue. I mean, I'm kind of sad about this group, really, because okay, so I like Curious a lot, and in another group, I might be like, okay, I would like to see him get to the round of 16. But truthfully, I really want to see all 3 other players in the round of 16 quite badly. Sue is back in prime form. SOS is probably the most exciting, definitely the most exciting Protoss, but maybe the most exciting player when he's playing well, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he's doing things that nobody else can do.
Yeah.
He's playing not even outside the meta, he's playing ahead of the meta.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually redirecting the meta. So that's always fun, but I mean, we're in a different iteration of the game right now. With 4 months off, by the way, for StarCraft 2 here in Korea, that is so much time for players to learn and improve, where their games are not public at all.
Yeah,
if they choose for it to be. So that's kind of wild. We haven't really had anything like this in Korean StarCraft 2 basically ever with this much time off.
Yeah, we had IEM, so we did see a handful of these guys, and the qualifiers for IEM, so we saw some more. And the thing is, there has been online leagues, and a lot of guys have been playing in that. So definitely, there's been glimpses, right? There definitely have been glimpses of these players, but it's not. You can't really compare that completely to tonight, where it's like, okay, This is the league where if you win this league, you are a legend in StarCraft 2. You know, and
it's the most
there's
sought
just
after
so
title, really.
Yeah, there's so much
ever.
pressure here for them. So, you know, it's really hard to actually predict who will show up on the night of GSL. But so far, Billowy is doing it, which is really impressive.
Okay, we have the probe now being chased down. Sue with just a few lings, taking his third base, looking like a pretty typical PVZ here. Billowy doing his gate expand. A little bit of pressure now, making a stalker over here.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, normally we would see an adept or something come out here and try to pressure, but
yeah,
he's
he's gonna.
got the two over here already, but just one stalker in the back, I guess, to try to keep any extra lings out.
Now we'll see where he goes with those adepts, but that evolution chamber is screaming a drop for this overlord right there. But he's making a stalker, which is something Billowy has done a little bit, and the stalker definitely that can help you to counter it, right? Like, you can kill a slow overlord with that stalker. The lings will start to get out, but you have a couple other units there, and suddenly you've dismantled the drop.
He is going to take out some drones, but of course losing his adept here as the game goes on. If there is some kind of aggro build coming here from Sue, not having those adepts might hurt a little bit. The wall in now, proper over here with the gateways. He is going to go for that drop, but the stalker's not there to actually stop it. At the same time, though, Billowy looks like he wants to do aggression of his own. He's got a proxy pylon here with a gateway. So they're actually both about to try to break each other's jaws.
Yeah.
I don't know which punch is going to be swung first, but this could get ugly pretty fast.
Well, it matters where Billowy warps in these units. If he warps them in at the forward pylon, these lings can do a lot of damage. Oh, but the Mothership Core sees it. They already were warped in, though, and they are at the forward pylon, so he doesn't have a lot of units. Has to use this one overcharge very well.
The lings now rotating between these two locations. No way to really overcharge and defend here.
Has to just run away towards this pylon a little bit. Will he actually do that overcharge?
Now,
No?
Sue should be cognizant that there are no adepts or anything else, other stalkers here to help defend, which means that clearly Billow has to have made that somewhere else.
Yeah, there's 4 gates and no tech.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is screaming that he is going to be aggressive. But
pretty
drones
alarming.
are being made right now.
Yeah, it almost seems like he's not really in tune with what's actually happening around him. More warp-ins are coming in over here. Sentries now for force fields. The adepts are still up here. And the pressure is going to be on. Billowy's mining has been interrupted, but I don't see a real answer for an attack like this.
No, certainly not. Even if he makes Zerglings, this is a Zergling killing force indeed. 4 Zealots along with these 3 adepts.
Yeah.
Like, those Zealots can make it. Not only are they good against lings, but he might be able to even get the hatchery if he sits over here.
This actually might be too much here for Sue to deal with.
Yeah.
Granted, Sue did do some damage early on. That doesn't really have anything compared to taking out this hatchery up here, as well as so many units that are coming out of it, denying that mining. A Baneling's Nest is coming up here to try to counteract this. The hatchery going to go down in a matter of seconds, and I think the build is going to continue on with the pressure here.
Dude, this is really good what he's done here. Of course, there is a little bit of counter damage being done by these ling drops, but this was like a really smart, cool play. We haven't seen anything like this in professional StarCraft in a very long time. Warping in Zealots to make sure you can kill the 3rd hatch? That's great.
The thing is, I'm not even sure if the Banelings did enough right there. In fact, he can even take out this Baneling's Nest if he wants right over here. Lings are going to come down, but there's so many Zealots. The Adepts are pretty well placed, too. The Queen's now being microed to take cover behind the minerals.
I mean, these slow Zealots don't care about your fancy pants strategies.
Yeah.
They just like walk right up. It takes so long to kill them. They have so much health and so much damage output. Look at this. He's spread all over the place.
Oh, my God. Look at that time warp there. So he can basically really maneuver around the lings whenever they're coming up here. We still have one Queen that's actually not been picked off somehow, some way in the center right.
Tons of damage. 23 drones already lost. More units will be warping in here momentarily, and
that's it.
Billowy's going to be taking this first game.
This is a really cool strategy. I wonder how it would have looked like if Sue had not been so aggressive, or at the bare minimum made something to try to defend here. But then again, with that many lings and that many adepts, that's pretty hard to deal with, even if you know it's coming.
Well,
GG.
And the thing is, it's kind of weird because he dropped the lings. He saw 4 gates, no tech. There wasn't like extra gas being mined at the natural.
Yeah.
But then he droned at home.
Look at this. Look at his face.
Yeah.
You can almost see the curves of his smile. It's not so much right now, but okay, there it is again.
Well, this is
you see the wrinkles of his smile that he's trying to hold back. He is 1 win away from getting out of a very tough group. A group with Sue and SOS. And by the way, Curious has been a household name in the Code S.
Yeah.
for a long time.
He's a
and
regular.
Billowy might have just outgrown these guys. Crazy.
It's the face of a man that he knows how good he is. Can he show it? So far, he's showing it. He's up 3-0 against two of the most storied StarCraft 2 players of all time, SOS and Sue.
He planted the seeds of practice, and he's seen them blossom into the victories in this Code S. He looks like he's ready to go to the round of 16. He just has to have one more win here against Sue. If Billowy loses,